Whoa, do you know that the only way to get rich is through passive income? At the end of the day, that's the truth. Today, we're going to be analyzing passive income and how you can start creating some, baby. So stay tuned. Hey, Frank Thomas here from Wealth Generation Strategies, and today we're going to be talking about creating passive income. My favorite income. Passive income. It's something that you do not have to actively put time to or resources into. In the beginning, you might have to, but in the long term, you want it to kind of perpetuate itself. Today, I'm going to be analyzing what I think are some really easy ways to create passive income, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot, and ways to create higher passive income that could be harder to implement, but are a lot more lucrative. And in the bonus, I'm going to be sharing what I feel is one of the most underutilized but most valuable ways of creating passive income that so many people don't do and they need to do. And you should too. So make sure you stay tuned for the bonus. But let's get started here. At the end of the day, we want to create passive income. We want to make it so we are on easy street. The minute that you are even Steven with your passive income every month and your expenses, you're on easy street and you can live your life exactly the way you want to. No more compromises, no more snooty bosses or anything like that. I know I'm very lucky. I've got a great boss. So that's kind of the way it is. But let's take a look here. Making passive income can be hard because we are really wired from the word get-go to get a good education, get a good job, make good money, and you can pay your debts, feed your family, etc., etc., etc. But that's kind of where our education stops. I actually have a good video that talks about things that school doesn't teach you, and you should check it out. It's in my playlist. Side note, got to advertise a little bit somewhere. At the end of the day, we are never really taught how to create true passive income. I want to show you some easy ways to make passive income. Friends of ours are really savvy when it comes to real estate. They've invested into several houses, but the way they've made their maximum passive income, when they first told me they were doing this, I thought, you're nuts. Now I see it in action and I'm implementing it. It's brilliant. And that was, they were living in this house. They had lots of kids. All the kids have grown up. Like most of the kids are gone now. They're getting older, but they didn't really want to move from the house that they're in. So what did they do? They rented out all the rooms of their previous children's rooms that are now empty, not doing anything, to potential people who just want to rent a room. And they're renting these rooms, like right now in their home, they're renting 4 rooms. A couple in the basement, a couple upstairs. Now, yes, they are sacrificing some of their privacy. They absolutely are. But at the end of the month, they're putting close to $3,000 a month into their jeans. That's nothing to sneeze about. It takes a long time to put $3,000 in your jeans from passive financial portfolio using stocks and such. It takes you a long time to get that much. So that's a quick way to pony up and make some serious dough real fast. So consider even renting a room could generate $500 to $1,000 of income to you, depending on where you are. Very possible. Second thing here that we do want to start creating a financial portfolio. This is our end game. This is what we're shooting for in the long run. We're trying to create a portfolio that's going to gain in capital, create dividends possibly, or rent or something. It's going to pay you back somehow in the long term, and it's going to beat inflation, because inflation is the thing that kills your dollars in the long run. Every year, you're losing up to 3% to inflation. So every year that dollar's worth less and less and less by about 3% on average. So we want to make sure our financial portfolio makes more. My portfolio makes between 10, 15%, which is not too shabby. And I invest primarily in good dividend stocks and good ETFs. And it's very passive. Once you've invested, you can forget about it. You can find 4 or 5 really good stocks that you really like, things you believe in, and buy stocks that you know. I buy Coca-Cola. I buy Procter & Gamble. I buy the electric company. I buy the gas company. I buy banks, things like that. It's to me, things I'm going to be using and things that are, I feel in a lot of ways, recession proof, because we got to continue to use these things. You got to still keep using toothpaste. You got to still be using electricity and gas. I love Coke stocks because it's, in my opinion, it's what I call the poor man's luxury, because for a couple bucks, you can go get a Coke. And it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. And it's like a luxury. So people keep buying Coke. I've seen my Coke stocks do better in bad times than in good times, but they still do good in good times, I'll tell you that. So that's just something to think about. So that's a second thing there. Another way, and this is a little tougher, and that is learning how to leverage other people's money. This can be tough to do. You have to be an expertise at something, and you have to convince the person who has the money that they need to invest it into your idea. And now it's not truly passive, but it can become passive in the long run. For example, buying a laundromat or a car wash. It sounds very low tech, but baby, these things make money. Like, let's call it for what it is. These things make money. So leveraging your money or other people's money is a fast way for you. You can charge a management fee. So let's say that car wash you bought starts returning $3,000 a month. You take $1,000 and the guy who invested the money takes $2,000, or you cut it 50-50, $1,500. But now you've taken your expertise, now you've generated a passive income flow. That's a really good way to do it. But this is a little tougher. This takes a little more expertise. Another thing you can do too is get access to a service. Especially, I like online services. There's hosting, there's backups, there's a plethora of different services you can access online. Let's say you decide to get a higher account, like just not a private user account, but let's say you get an agent account for whatever that service is, because you think it's a good service. You sit down and figure out, how many clients do I have to have that I charge rent to use this service to make this break even and make me money? Figure that out. I have a hosting service, which I've ran for years and years and years, and my clients pay for all my hosting, and I make a few bucks on it too. There's a fuss factor with it. You got to understand hosting and how it works, so make sure you do understand whatever service you get involved in, you understand completely. That's really important, because they're flexing on your experience. But it's a way to make a return. Now, you might not make a lot off each person, but in the long run, if you make 20 bucks off of each person or 10 bucks off of each person, 10 people, it's $100 of passive income that you weren't making before. If you have 100 people, that's $1,000. So the numbers can rise. Be sure to stick around for the bonus, because the bonus is my absolute favorite way to make passive income. It's easy and it's very profitable. So stay tuned. But before we hit the bonus, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much if you did have already. If you haven't, subscribe. Give the video a like. And also, too, if you have any comments you want to make, please feel free. I try very hard to post 2 videos every week that will give you good financial advice and information to help you grow wealth. And that's what I care about. I want to give you good stuff to live by so you can live the good life. There you go. Subscribe. Let's get into our bonus. Now, why is this my absolute favorite way to make passive income? Because it's so stinking easy, and it gets easier every day. We have to get by a bit of a roadblock, though. A mindset, a paradigm, way of thinking. And that is, we discount what we know because it's easy for us. When something's easy for us, we discount it. In other words, we don't think it's valuable. It is valuable, darn it. Get over it. Build a bridge and get over it. It is a valuable skill. Every one of us has valuable skills. Oh, Frank, I'm only a housekeeper. What valuable skills could I have? Wow. How do you clean this? What is the way to do that? How do you do this? What you do is you start documenting how you do these things. Make videos, write it down, create manuals, create how-to videos, and sell them online. You have a worldwide community of over 8 billion people now, I believe it is, to sell to. Now, is everybody going to buy from you? No, but you don't need everybody to buy from you. You only need a few thousand to buy from you. And online, it's very possible. Set up a simple and inexpensive store online. There's lots of ways to do it. It's not hard. And set up and start selling your expertise. Get in front of people and let them know that you know how to do something. What's a good way to do that? YouTube? Maybe. Get those eyeballs looking at it and start selling products. Another way could just be being a a voice of advice on a forum or on a website or something like that and share your knowledge, people will begin to trust you, and people will start reaching out to you and say, gee, I'd really like to, do you have anything that you're selling that kind of, it's like an encyclopedia of all these ways to keep things clean, for example, for the housekeeper? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. It's only $29.95. People will reach out to you and ask you for it, and they'll pay you for it. That's a fantastic way to create passive income. Now, it doesn't take long, and it's not hard to do. People think it's hard to do, or, oh, I don't really know. I could write everything down that I know in a couple pages. And no, you're discounting what you know. Trust me on this one. I was talking to somebody last night, good friend of mine, and I said, you need to write down what you know. He's an electronics expert. The guy is just like, he's very smart, but at the same time, he can be very dumb when it comes to the fact that he is not making the best use of what he knows. I said to him, sit down, write it down, write stuff down. How did you do that? How did you fix that? Where did you find those parts? How do you do this? It doesn't take long. I've seen brilliant channels gain millions of subscribers on YouTube, for example, and they're making income just from the ad revenue, for crying out loud. You're leaving money on the table. I'll just leave it at that. That's the reason. I'll be straight up with you. First and foremost is I want to help everybody know what I know. I wish I could sit down with my younger self and say, Frank, we need to talk, baby. Straighten out my younger self, because I'd be in a completely different position than I am today. The second reason is if I can't do that, I can do it with you. And that's the reason why I lit up this channel and I create these videos. The second thing is, to be honest with you, it's selfish. I'm going to be creating income off these videos eventually, as well as I'm going to have people who are going to be asking me, Frank, it's already begun. Frank, I need help doing this. Frank, I need help doing that. No, I'm no financial expert, and I'm going to be the first person to tell you that. I just bring common sense to the table, and you'll be surprised how uncommon common sense can be. These folks learn this stuff and they're like, wow, I never thought about it, or I didn't know, or didn't think about it. I've learned these lessons, so make sure you do that. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, there should be another one showing right now that's talking about how you can make more money in 2024. So that's a video you want to watch. Otherwise, I hope you have a brilliant day. If you go over see that video, we'll see you there. But if not, have a brilliant day, and thank you for listening today. Bye-bye.